On Sunday, October 30th, Mars stations retrograde at 25 degrees Gemini. Mars will travel backwards through Gemini until January 12, 2023, at which point it will station direct at 8 degrees Gemini. Of all the planets in astrology, Mars goes retrograde the most infrequently, every 18 months, and has the most erratic cycle. Listen to this episode of the Astrology Podcast to learn more about Mars' retrograde cycle. So whenever Mars goes retrograde, it's worth taking notice. What happens during a Mars retrograde? Mars is the god of action and initiation. It's the blast of a gun, the start of a race. You might not be able to make as much progress as you normally would. Rather than forge ahead and blaze new trails, take the time to review your past actions and motivations. This is a good time for behind-the-scenes work and to ensure that you have everything in order. Mars retrograde is also an invitation to review our anger and our willpower. How are you using your energy? What hills are you dying on? What is your relationship to conflict? When Mars is retrograde, it is an opportunity to think deeply about your relationship to mossy things, like anger, conflict, and how you individuate yourself. In a word, Mars governs independence. During Mars retrograde, you are undergoing a review process regarding your own independence. If you are someone who generally capitulates to those around you, you might find yourself suddenly enforcing stricter boundaries. If you tend to be more domineering, maybe you use this as an opportunity to examine where this tendency comes from. If there are places in your life that need better boundaries, this will be a 5-month period where you start to change those habits. Book a reading. Mars retrograde in Gemini. Mars is retrograde in Gemini, Mercury's mutable, air domicile. Mars in Gemini loves to multitask, but while retrograde, you might just wind up frazzled and exhausted. Now is not the time for multitasking. Now is the time to narrow your focus, block out distractions and commit to just 1 or 2 priorities. Ebbs and flows. Your energy might be up and down over the next few weeks. Whenever Mars is in a mutable sign, we need to learn how to move with the ebb and flow of our energy. Plus, Mars will be forming a square with Neptune for most of November, which perfects on November 19th. This means that we'll likely feel extra slow, quiet, and maybe even lethargic until the end of November. If you need lots of time to rest over the next few weeks, don't panic. Let yourself go with the flow. There will be moments of inspiration and energy, so take advantage of those when they come, but otherwise, lower expectations of your productivity between now and January 12th. During this Mars retrograde, watch out for things like information, language, technology, and commerce being weaponized. Watch out for topics like data privacy, cyber attacks, major hacks or data breaches, or even cyber warfare to be in the news. In your personal life, you might find yourself more inclined towards making snide remarks or a cutting jibe. Watch out for heated conversations and exchanges. You might be more inclined to die on a rhetorical hill than usual. Pick your battles. Book a session. What started around August 20th? Gemini first entered Gemini on August 20th, 2022. Think of the time between August 20th and October 30th as a preview for what will happen during Mars retrograde. Mars will be retracing its steps through this part of your birth chart. Thanks for watching. You'll find link to get your personal love forecast in the description.